Hello children, how are you all? I hope all are good and stay at home. Today we will start with the chapter 3 in science, that is force and pressure. Today we will cover these three topics, that is what is force, contact and non-contact force, balance and unbalanced force. Students, open the page number 14 and look at the chapter number 3, force and pressure. So students, first we learn what is force. So look at the first line of that force is a stationary object on which no force is acting remains stationary. That means if we are not apply a force on any object, then that object remains stationary, means it can't change their direction from one place to another. Now look at the next line is an object in motion continues to move with the same speed and the direction when no force is acting on the object. Okay. So students, suppose if I throw the one ball, then that ball can move with the same speed and direction, and for a certain time it can't move because of the gravitational force. So students, this is the best example for the Newton first law. So students, look at, there are the various actions which will shown in your textbook. So the first picture is man is pushing the car, second one is pulling his dog, third one boy kicking the ball. So students, in all these three examples, what we are doing? We are applying a force. So students, observe the first figure. What you see? When man is pushing the car, the force is applied on the car and car starts moving. In which direction? Forward the man or away from the man? Yes students, tell me. Yes. It starts from moving away from the man. So in this way, remaining two examples can be applied the force on the same direction. Now students, force are categorized into two parts, contact force and non-contact force. What is contact force? Contact force means the forces can be applied by touching the object. Previously we studied three examples, a man pushing the car, pulling his dog and boy kicking ball. In all three examples, either pushing or pulling the object. So these are contact forces. So students, I hope you clear contact forces. Again I am repeating, contact forces is like a touching the object. Clear? When you applied a force that can touching the object. Now what about non-contact forces? Non-contact forces means the forces which can be applied even without contacting. This kind of force you can see in your textbook also. Look at the first picture. Iron nails get attracted to the poles of a magnet due to the magnetic force. Now look at the second picture. A comb has an electrostatic charges. Why is it so? Because when you rub the comb against the air, small pieces of paper get attracted to the comb. And the last picture is a coconut is falling from the coconut tree. because the objects are attracted to the earth due to the force of gravity. So students, in this way we have a magnetic force, electrostatic force and gravitational force. All these are included in non-contacting force. I hope you clear the concept of contact force and non-contact force. Now there are more type of force we are going to study. This is the type of contact force, that is frictional force. What you know about frictional force? When the two objects are collide on each other, when they are rubbed on each other, tries to reduce the speed of the object, that is called as frictional force. So students, all of you clear what I am saying? Once again, listen carefully. Take any two objects and you can rub on each other. Then their velocity or speed are decreases. Then that speed is called as an frictional force. Frictional force is very useful in daily life. While walking, we push the ground behind with our feet. And yes, listen students, in the absence of friction, what will happen? We will slip and will not able to walk. Okay children, so which example in your mind? Yes, it's banana peel. If you walking fast and suddenly you placed your feet on banana peel, you slipped. Why it is so? Why do you slip? Because friction is reduced and you may fall. So students, there are so many examples which is based on frictional force. So think and note down in your notebook. Here some example which is based on contact force and non-contact force. In contact force there is applied force, spring force, drag force, frictional force and normal force. Now come to the next force, that is non-contact force, is magnetic force, electric force and gravitational force. In your textbook on page number 15 there is a very interesting activity which is based on non-contact force. You can definitely do at home. So students, first take a two magnet and in a tub they have taken water and took two bottles. They are tightly packed and then on the surface of each bottle kept two magnet. Now students, take a one bottle near the other. If the north pole of the magnet is near the south pole of the other magnet, then the bottles are attracted with each other because of magnet. Now students, do the second possibility, that is when you place the bottle with same pole, that is north pole to north pole or south pole to south pole. Then what happens? Observe the bottle carefully. Then the bottles are away from each other, that is repelled for each other because of magnet. So students, till now I hope you understood this experiment, but when you do at home, practically it is easy to clear your concept. Now children, let's learn with the new concept, that is balanced and unbalanced force. So students, see the picture in your textbook. What you see? There is a one table, one weighing machine and one is cardboard box. Okay? Then what we see? We see one cardboard box tie thick string to its two sides and Keep it on a smooth table. Now students, what you do? Keep equal masses in both pans. Then box does not move on the table. So students, this means that balance force act on that box. Okay? Now students, listen another condition, that keep unequal masses in both the pans. Then what happens students? Exactly. And unbalanced forces act on the box. Students, I hope you see this example so many times. So students, let's learn another example which is based on balance and unbalanced force. Look at this picture. What you see? There are some children playing tug of war. Pull the rope in their respective direction. Now, if the pull of the force is equal on the two sides, then the rope does not move. That means the balance force act on that rope. See the next picture. In this picture, what you see? If the force is more, listen once again, if the force is more on one side, then the rope moves in that direction. Then this becomes unbalanced force. On page number 16, there are 3 points regarding force. These 3 points you need to understand thoroughly. So we'll discuss in details these 3 points. So I'll read it for you. If several forces are applied on an object in the same direction, a force equal to their addition act on that object. So what you understand by this statement? Now let's check with the help of example. Students, see this picture. If I ask one man to push the cupboard, it is comparatively very difficult. But instead of one man, I ask two men. Then what will happen? The cupboard will start moving more slightly but more than one person. Then if I ask 6 persons to move the cupboard, then what will happen? The cupboard will easily get moved. Why? Because force get added in the same direction. Look at the second statement is, if two forces are applied on one object in directions opposite to each other. So what does the statement mean? Now see this picture. We have a same cupboard, but you're pushing from the opposite ends. One is pushing from left and another pushing from right. Now students, listen carefully. If the both have same strength, cupboard will not move. But if one has more strength and another has a less strength, then where will be the cupboard start moving? It will move slightly towards the person who has less strength. So students, what you understood from this example is, strong person apply more force than the weaker person. Now look at the third one is, a force is expressed in magnitude and direction. Force is a vector quantity. Students, in your previous standard, you learn what are scalar quantity and what are vector quantity. Scalar quantity are those which are measured in 1 unit. But students, in case of force, we have two things, that is magnitude as well as direction. Such quantity are called as vector quantity. So, force is a vector quantity. I hope you clear these 3 statements with their examples. That's all for today. In the next lecture, we'll learn new concept. I hope you clear today's lecture. So now students, Today's homework for you: write down first Newton's law, what is contact force and non-contact force with examples, what is balance and unbalanced force with example. So write down in your notebook and study well. Stay home, stay safe with your family. Bye bye. Thank you.